Hi, my name is Grant Lowski, and I'm our site superintendent on the CEE building. This building that's going up is going to be 230,000 square foot. It's a $95 million budget. It's going to be a net zero building with solar panels on the roof as well as on a nearby parking structure. We're hoping for LEED Platinum certification on this project also. For boundaries, we have the Beckman Institute to the north and the Micro Nanotechnology building to the south. While there are buildings nearby, there is enough room for site traffic flowing as well as immediate access to Wright Street to the west. The purpose of the safety plan is to express our safety culture and what we expect out of our employees. In addition, by doing this, we hope to help educate all employees who are on site, as well as those walking around it, protecting them, and also protecting all those that will be using the building in the future.
This conference
We are Hand and Hammer Construction. Our project team consists of 6 members. Jay Jazanowski, who is the Site Health and Safety Officer, Chelsea Wong, who is the Field Operations Leader, Grant Orlowski, who is the Site Superintendent, Nicholas Whipperforth, who is the Site Project Manager, Zach Adcott, who is the Project Manager, Stefan Carlson, who is the Project Engineer. Each member of our project team has their respective safety duties, but at the end of the day, it is all of our responsibility to act as an example for our safety expectations. Contractors applying for work packages for this project will undergo a strict qualification process. This includes submitting the contractor's EMR rating, past 3 years of OSHA 300 logs, past 5 years of OSHA citations and inspections, the contractor's required employee training certifications, disclose the past 5 years of fatalities and catastrophes on their projects, the contractor's health and safety plan that will be tailored to this site specifically. Upon award of the bid, HHC will require subcontractors to designate a safety representative for this project as well as undergo a strict review of their site-specific safety plan with our site safety representative and theirs. Prior to beginning the work on the project, we will hold pre-mobilization safety meetings. These meetings will have our project team and the subcontractor superintendents as well as the foreman for each one of their crews. The purpose of this is to communicate our safety culture as a company, ensure the subcontractors know what work they're responsible for on the project and what area they will be working in. And daily project meetings are required to be attended by all subcontractor superintendents and their respective foremen. These meetings will start with each subcontractor informing our project team of the work they will be performing that day. Each subcontractor is required to submit a JSA and any permits required for the work they are performing that day during this meeting. The remaining time of these meetings will be spent addressing safety concerns around the project.
So our daily safety inspections will be performed by our site safety representative as well as by each subcontractor safety representative when they are on site. These safety inspections shall be performed to determine unsafe conditions around individual work areas. These inspections shall look for any violations in AJC's specific health and safety program as well. So pre-task safety plans for work that will be performed are to be submitted by the safety representative of the subcontractor that will be performing the task. The purpose of these pre-task safety plans is to identify safety concerns for specific tasks. Not only does it define the scope of work and potential hazards, but it also helps in the planning the event and working to avoid all unsafe conditions. Safety auditing shall be performed on a monthly basis. Our site safety representative will be responsible for auditing and correcting our safety program as well as the subcontractor safety program based on the daily reports that are submitted. Notifying others of their mistakes is an essential step to the auditing process. Not only does it give them the opportunity to correct their health and safety program, but it also gives them the knowledge of what they are doing right and wrong.
Training for all on-site workers is an important part in the construction process because it helps teach everyone the requirements and expectations of the project site. The first step for any new employee entering the site will be to conduct the HHC safety orientation, which will be led by our site health and safety officer. It is also required that the employers of all workers submit proper documentation of completed employer induction training. Each individual shall also have completed their specific craft training to ensure knowledge of their tasks. Depending on the task being performed by the individual, additional training certifications may be required, such as HAZWOP or 40-hour training. Everyone on site is required to follow all applicable site rules to complete their task. In the event that an employee is found not following the safety procedures, we will employ a three-strike system. These three strikes shall be in the form of a written disciplinary action report that states the employee's name, the safety procedure they did not follow, and any other relevant information in the violation. In the event that an employee violates the safety program in any way that can cause significant personal injury or death, it is at the discretion of our management team to forego the three-strike system and immediately relieve the employee of their duties on the project site. The minimum level of PPE that is required on the site are safety toe boots, a hard hat, a reflective vest, and safety glasses. These items should be worn at all times on site by every individual who comes on the site. Task-specific PPE may require items like respirators, fire-resistant clothing, or Tyvek suits, depending on the job.
I'm going to provide insight to our site security and access control plan. Hand and Hammer Construction strives to create a safe work environment where all workers and visitors feel comfortable going about their daily activities. All people must wear the required PPE in order to gain access to the site. In addition to that, all workers employed on the site will scan their RFID badge upon entering and exiting the job site. Thus, in case of an emergency, HHC as well as emergency health services are aware of who is on the job site. We have a zero tolerance policy for guns and illegal narcotics. Any employee found to have violated the policy will immediately be removed from the job site and relieved of their position. Our site will be protected by a fence covered in fence wrap advertising the building that is under construction. The fence wrap will inform the community of what we are working on. Any breaches will be handled by our site security subcontractor in coordination with our site superintendent. In case of emergency, all work is to be halted on the site and the superintendent is placed in charge, as they are the most familiar with the site on a day-to-day basis. They are responsible for communicating with emergency health services. Emergency health services will have the right-of-way on all roads on the site.
In the event of a life-threatening incident, call 911 immediately and follow the emergency action plan. In the event of any incident, the site's health and safety officer must be notified immediately. The rest of the project team and the HHC safety manager, who is not site-specific, must be informed as soon as possible. An incident is any event or occurrence, such as accidents, damages, and losses. Accidents are undesired events which result in physical harm and/or property loss. Some examples of incidents are damages to the property, vandalism, and injuries to the employees. If an incident has occurred, an investigation must be completed. The person who completes the investigation will be the site health and safety officer unless he or she was directly related to the incident. The incident investigation report is found in the appendices. The purpose of HHC's investigation procedures is to understand what occurred to cause the incident and to establish what preventative measures could be adopted to avoid a recurrence. HHC's primary focus for the investigation is to answer the questions of when, where, whom, and what is the outcome of the incident. The secondary focus is then to answer how and why. The procedures by which the investigator should follow are as follows. First, begin with the investigation report as found in the appendices. Return to the location of the incident when it is safe to do so to take photos and/or videos of the scene of the aftermath of the incident. Conduct witness interviews as soon as possible. Interview the affected or injured individuals as soon as practical, and review the applicable policies and/or practices that are enforced on the site. After the incident investigation has been completed, an analysis of the existing safety procedures and processes must be completed by the safety manager. It is his or her duty to review the investigation report and verify whether the safety protocols were properly followed. Based on the information and documentation that was provided, the safety manager will identify what was done well and what needs improvement. All incident reports and their respective documentation must be kept on the HHC's database in its respective project folder. However, we also keep a standing record of all the incidences and their reports in our incident log. The incident log is kept on the HHC's database and is the safety manager's responsibility to maintain the log. All of this information is available to any employee that has access to our database so that they can learn from the investigation report and see what changes were implemented and also apply it to their projects.
Next, we are going to talk about our operational, environmental, health, and safety requirements. For this section, we will be reviewing the requirements for confined space entry. The pre-existing site was an old gas station which required HHC to perform soil remediation. To investigate the extent of the leakage, the old gas tanks need to be entered to identify the extent of the problem. Here is our EHS requirements for this task. Before entering a confined space, a permit must be acquired by the city. The internal atmosphere must also be tested to ensure conditions are safe to enter. A worker should always have a trained and competent spotter working with the worker to ensure conditions are stable while in the confined space. Forced air shall be introduced into the confined space to eliminate any hazards inside the confined space. Entrance conditions that prove hazardous and removing an entrance cover shall be eliminated before the cover's removal.
When it comes to emergencies, the job site is an extremely hazardous place that can turn from dangerous to deadly in the matter of seconds. It is imperative that our workers know how to react to any emergency faced while on site, as well as report these incidences in an effective manner. During an emergency, employees have mere seconds to react efficiently to the imminent danger present. During a medical emergency, all employees in the vicinity should attempt to contact the site superintendent or site health and safety officer. From there, the site superintendent will contact EMS and relay information to the police. The site health and safety officer will then proceed to the area of the medical emergency to take control of the situation. All employees will then proceed to shut down work and make safe the job site for EMS personnel. Medical emergencies aren't the only emergency faced on the job site. When faced with a fire, all personnel should immediately evacuate the area, notifying other crews while evacuating. If possible, contact the superintendent so he can quickly notify all crews to shut down work and evacuate immediately. Once the superintendent is contacted, he will call fire and rescue. During an evacuation of the job site, our workers are expected to follow the on-site egress plans. The egress plan shown here is the phase of the project where all interior walls are erected. Everyone should make sure to be aware of their surroundings and know where they are in reference to the egress plan. No matter which egress plan is being used, all workers should evacuate through the primary exits. Secondary exits are surrounded by many hazards and should be used if the primary exit route is blocked off. Once outside the building, everyone should continue following the routes to the exit gates and head to the assembly area south of Micro and Nanotechnology Building. The only emergency where this does not take place is during inclement weather, where everyone should take shelter in the Micro and Nanotechnology Building until the storm has passed before heading to the assembly area. If the site superintendent cannot be reached during an emergency, the most senior abled member of a working crew affected by the emergency should call one of the following numbers that best fits the active situation.